welcome back to the Pendryhome, or welcome if you are new. My name is Lakin, and this is my husband Houston. And today we are finally going to be answering the couples Q&A for y'all. So I asked on my YouTube channel if y'all had any questions, and we would answer them. I also put it over on my Instagram. So we're gonna start with the ones from YouTube, and then we will do the ones on Instagram. There's a lot of questions, but the most popular question is how we met. I don't even know, there were so many of how we met. Everybody wants to know how we met, and I guess we've never talked about this. But Houston, how did we meet? It's kind of embarrassing.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like it's embarrassing.
She always gets embarrassed. She just showed up on my Facebook on my friends list like 2 or 3 times in one day while I'm scrolling down through it. So I signed a friend her.
So we met on Facebook. I don't know. I don't know why it's just kind of embarrassing for me. Like, it's not romantic how we met. We literally met on Facebook.
Met on Facebook.
That's why it's embarrassing. Okay, so apparently, yes, I, on the suggested friends list, kept showing up on his suggested friends list, and he friended me.
Because we had like 25, 30 mutual friends.
So I friended him back only because we had all those mutual friends. I did not know who he was. So I friended him back because I saw that, yes, we had a lot of mutual friends, and all of the mutual friends that we had were church people. So I was like, this is kind of weird, because they were literally all church people. Like, there was hardly any outside that, like, from church.
And I dropped in her DMs list.
So then he sent me a message. I still have the phone conversation. Oh my gosh. I don't have the conversation anymore.
No, because that guy hacked your Facebook.
My Facebook got hacked the day before I had Joe Dallas, or like a few days before I had Joe Dallas, and so now I don't have the conversation anymore. I kept it, and I don't have it now. That makes me sad. Maybe you still do. Anywho, so then he sends me a message on Facebook, and I had just got out of a relationship, so I was like not really wanting to get into a relationship. I was just focusing on my job. I worked at the hospital as a CNA, and I was in college to become a teacher, a early childhood educator, and I was on like working in college, and you know, like focusing on just going to church and like my relationship with God. And I mean, obviously I was praying for somebody, but I wasn't really ready, or at least I didn't think I was ready. And then he showed up. So he messages me, and I got to looking at his Facebook, and Houston has a twin brother. I don't know if we've ever talked about that. He has a twin brother, and his twin brother had just got married a few months prior. So, and they're identical. So all I see is this wedding. So I thought that it was him that got married. So he messaged me in March, and the wedding was in October.
I'm off to a bad start.
So I was like, he is married, and he's newly married, messaging me. Like, what in the world is this guy? And I always, like, me and my mom, we're very close. We're best friends.
She blew it way out of proportion.
My mom was like,
Not her mom involved.
oh my gosh, he's married. Like, why is he messaging you? He is married. And I'm like, this is crazy. So then we got that all cleared up, that it was not him. He has a twin brother. He was not married.
I don't really know how you asked me that question. Like, are you not married or something? I can't remember how you asked it.
I don't remember.
You asked me, I do remember.
I did ask you about it because I was like, he is married, like newly married.
Telling you, no, I was in my brother's wedding.
Yeah, you were like, I was in my twin brother's wedding. I think you did say he was your twin too, and I was like, that makes so much sense. So then, my mom, you know, we're girls, we do girl talk, and she was like, well, is he gonna ask you like on a date? And I was like, probably. I mean, I don't think he's just gonna like message me and not ask to go out with me. And I was like, but I just don't know if I want to go or not. And my mom was like, oh my goodness, like you need to go. She was like, regardless, she was like, you never know. And she was like, look, me and your dad will go with you. Tell him we'll go down to the Cracker Barrel. And I was like, Mom, that is weird. I was 19. I was gonna be 20 in October. This was in March. And I was like, Mom, no. Like, no. Like, I can handle this. Whatever. Literally, 2 messages later, he's going, so hey, I was thinking, would you like to go out sometime? We can go down to Cracker Barrel. So then when he said that, right, literally minutes after my mother had just said this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out with him. And so we went out for our first date on a Monday night, not on the weekend. We went out on a Monday night. He came, well, he thought I was just gonna meet him over there, but I'm not, no. You had to come pick me up and take me out. So, he had to come pick me up, take me out.
I went and said hello to the parents.
Had to meet my parents. And then the rest is history. Like, we were inseparable from then. We literally saw each other, like, almost every single day. 3 weeks later, he was like, all right, so you're my girlfriend now. And then, not even 6 months later, he proposed to me, and then 6 months later, we got married. So, yeah, we've been inseparable from all of it. I feel like I could talk about this a whole lot more, but if y'all want us to fully talk about, like, how I feel like God aligned us together and all of that, then let me know. I don't want this video to be too long, because that's a very long story. There's a lot of alignment that God did and how God worked in our lives that honestly led us together, because we literally grew up circling each other our whole entire life, but we never met. Like, we circled each other in church services and never knew everything. Like, there is no way that we've probably been in the same room before, but God waited for us to meet when we met. And so, like, we literally circled each other our whole entire life. So God aligned it perfectly how it was supposed to go. But anywho, so if y'all want to know about that, let me know. I'll have to do a full video on that because it will take a while. But yeah. All right, next question. What is your favorite travel destination so far, and what place would you like to visit sometime? So I've never really been anywhere. I've been more places since me and Houston's been together than I've been in my entire life. My favorite place to go is anywhere warm, beachy, and tropical.
And I'm the opposite.
And he likes the mountains.
I like to go to the mountains.
And I like to go to the beach.
So my favorite place so far right now is like Pigeon Forge. I like to go.
We went to Pigeon Forge on our honeymoon. Tennessee. I liked Pigeon Forge. I really did. I like both. I think the reason that I prefer the beach is because my mom's side of the family lives in West Virginia. So that's all we did. Like, if we went on vacation, we vacationed in the mountains. So I literally, I think in one of my videos I said that our first time going to the beach was when I was 8 years old. And the reason that was, like, we never went to the beach. So, like, going to the beach, whereas he went to the beach every single year, I went to the mountains every year. So mountains to me is like, well, that's nothing exciting, because I literally, that was like my second home was the mountains. And I like the beach. I guess for him, you know, he had spent more time at the beach.
Well, we went down every year. We went fishing.
I like the
Some
beach.
years are better fishing than others, but we always went like the first or the second or third week of October.
Yeah, well, the beach is more exciting to me. So my favorite place so far, okay, we went to Florida when we first got married, but I didn't really get to see the beach. So I would like to go back to Florida. I know that's nothing exciting, but I would like to go back to like an actual beach at Florida for sure. And my favorite place so far, I've really never been anywhere. So I have no idea. I've never been anywhere. I've been to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. That's it.
That's what you get for staying at home all the time.
No, we never go in. Okay, we do not go places. We go nowhere. We do not travel a lot.
I've been trying to build business for the past literally 2 years, I guess.
Yes, and
I haven't
so,
gone anywhere.
and like now we're traveling, but we're literally going for business. So we don't go anywhere.
Good.
So I would like to experience more Florida beaches, and also one of my biggest bucket lists is going to Texas, because obviously Houston's name is Houston, Texas, and then obviously Joe Dallas's middle name is Dallas, and I did that because Houston's name is Houston Joe and Joe Dallas, and so I want to go to Dallas, and I want to go to Houston, Texas. So, where do you want to go?
I'd like to go to England.
Well,
See.
okay, overseas, yes, I would like to go to England. I've always
I would
wanted
like
to
to
go to
see a
England.
lot of our
But in
history before the
the States.
United States. I
In the
guess.
States, where do you want to go?
Oh, in the States? Out west. Wyoming. Out west. I want to see a lot of flatland.
Yeah, I think that'd be great too.
Possibly go to Yellowstone, stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
my bucket list. So
There we go.
there.
Stop focusing. Okay, next question. Hopefully the sun starts doing us some favor here. Alright, next question is, what's your favorite quality about your spouse? We're going to break this one up, so let's do that one first. What's your favorite quality about your spouse?
Oh, well, you go first there, baby.
My favorite quality about you. Let's see. I guess, let's see, mentally, emotionally, whatever. My favorite quality about him is that, even though it drives me crazy, he is a go-getter. He works very, very hard from sun up to sundown, and it drives me crazy because I am a homebody, and I would just love for him to be at home sometimes. But I also appreciate it, and I love it about him that he is very hardworking and that he takes care of and provides for us. But obviously I'm very physically attracted to my husband as well. So, very much so. So what's your favorite quality about me?
Oh, well, my love language is love, so I guess the intimacy we share. Oh, yeah.
He's very physical touch, y'all. I am not.
She makes it work.
But I make it work, yes. We are very PDA. I will admit that. Even surprisingly, my love language is not physical touch, but we are very PDA with each
I
other.
still had to buy her, like yesterday, I got her some M&Ms from the store.
I like little things.
Yeah.
Okay, what has surprised you the most about marriage? What surprised me the most is that he literally reminds me of my own father and like my brother. Living with him is like living with my dad and my brother all mixed into one.
So what was the question again?
What surprised me the most about marriage?
What Surprising.
He acts a lot like my dad. Except my dad was more, I'm gonna say my dad's more romantic than
Well, if we were all the same, this world would be boring.
My dad is very romantic. He was the one that would like always, you know, like come home with like gifts and stuff. Like Valentine's Day wasn't, he made it special obviously for my mom, but he made it special for me too. And then like birthdays and Christmas, and like just because he'd always make things just like special. If he had like business trips, he would always bring something home for us from his business trip. All kinds of stuff. And he's like that. It's really
When
sweet.
we go out to eat, we do stuff, but I've never been a flower guy.
Yeah, like my mom gets flowers.
But you make it sound like you're jealous.
Yeah, you've never got me flowers. I like flowers. I love flowers.
My love don't die.
I love flowers. So you buy me chocolate instead.
My love for you is renewed every day.
Okay, what surprises the most about parenthood?
Surprises most about
I'm gonna let you answer this one first, then I'm going to answer it.
No sleep. Well, they weren't lying. They were like, get ready, rest up.
You know, it's funny that you say that. What surprised me the most is how much I can do running on no sleep. I have proved to myself that I can do so much, even sleep deprived. I'm a lot stronger than what I thought.
I can't. I struggle so bad.
I'm like, wow, like God really just made me to where even though I'm so sleep deprived, I can still just do it and take care of him and take care of Houston. Like, how? I love it though. Okay, and so then the next, this was all one. How did y'all come to Jesus? So I got saved when I was 8 years old. My grandpa pastored the church, well, he still pastors the church that I grew up in, and it was on a Sunday morning, and he was preaching. Obviously, he was the pastor, and I got saved as an 8-year-old little girl. Knew I was a sinner. My brothers were saved, my mom and dad were saved, and I was the last one, and that's it. That's the story. I accepted Christ on a Sunday morning. And then the other thing, so that was really special, is that we didn't have like a baptismal pool or anything in our church. It's a very old, small country church up in the mountain, and there is a river beside of our church, and so we did all of our baptisms down at the river. And so I got baptized in the river, and my mom kept the dress that she got baptized in, and so I still have the dress. So hopefully if we have a little girl one day, then maybe whenever she accepts Jesus into her heart and receives salvation, she can wear the same dress to get baptized in. But I got baptized in the same dress that my mother wore, so that was really special. But I got saved as an 8-year-old girl. What about you?
So I think it was on a Wednesday night. Our preacher had preached the message, and I was obviously under conviction. It was Wednesday night, and so my mother took me up to my grandma's, and our preacher was on his way to his cabin and up in the mountains after church that night, and he turned around and came back and was able to win me to the Lord. And I believe I was around a teenager. I was probably 12 or 13, somewhere in there. Don't really remember my age, so I just know it happened and changed my life. So,
all right, next question is, I'd love to know your daily routines as a married couple, new parents, and how we are able to set aside quality time in all of the beautiful busyness. So our daily routines: 5 o'clock, we wake up.
yeah.
Our day starts at 5 a.m. and Houston leaves for work about 5:30, a little after 5:30, 5:40, somewhere in there. He leaves for work. So we get that little bit of time. I am not a morning person. It takes me a good hour to 2 hours to wake up. So I am more of a very mumbly, follow him, wake up with him.
Don't talk with me.
Don't talk.
Don't talk to me.
I do a little bit, but not much. And go to the kitchen with him, tell him goodbye for work, kiss him, tell him be careful, pack his lunch, send him on his way. And I, of course,
normally call, do your stuff.
I, of course, breastfeed, so I pump at 5, so I, you know, start pumping and stuff. And Joe Dallas is still asleep. And then, so whenever I finish my pump, then, it just depends. Some days, if it's a really busy day, like if I know I need to get a lot of filming done for y'all, or like we have somewhere to go, or you know, whatever, I will stay awake and I will start my housework and I will start like everything. So like I'll start editing videos at 5 o'clock. Like as soon as he leaves, I'll go to the office and start editing while I pump and finish pumping. I'll take a shower. Showers wake me up really well, so I'll go ahead and just take a shower and get my coffee, eat some breakfast, you know, and start my day. But if I don't have a lot going on and I'm just like, I need to rest, because if I don't, like, I'm going to crash. Because that's also one thing, like, even though I have learned that I can do a lot sleep deprived, I still get very moody and not a very pleasant person to be around when I get extremely tired. So I will go back to sleep until like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then wake up whenever Joe Dallas wakes up, which is 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, somewhere in there. Then I'll wake back up with him and then we'll start our day. That's pretty much that. And then, I mean, y'all have seen my days in my videos. I clean, I cook, I edit videos, we do grocery runs, we run errands. I'm just a mama. That's pretty much it. And then of course Houston works, so then whenever he gets home from work, we eat supper.
That would be anywhere between,
we never know,
5:30 and 7 normally.
You come home at 8, 9 o'clock at night too. He's all over the place. So
not normally, just
well, a lot of the times you are.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll eat supper. Sometimes we eat supper together. If it was up to me, we would eat supper together every single night. But because he is a business owner, it's very unpredictable. You just never know what's gonna happen. So if it's getting about 7 o'clock and he's not at home, I'm probably gonna go ahead and eat because I'm starving.
I have a traditional job too. So.
Well, yes, but
when
still.
I get done with that, anywhere I'm there from 5:40, about every morning, 5:44 roughly, every morning, and then I'm there half the day, sometimes depending on. Then I go out on some jobs and look after those, and look at other work for them, and just do a bunch of stuff equipment-wise there, and then after that, I normally start my stuff, getting stuff ready for the next day. I'm either at the shop working or out looking at some jobs or something.
So the second part is, so we have very busy days. Our quality time is after Joe Dallas has went to sleep. Once he's in bed, then we spend time with each other, or if Houston does get to stay with us on a Saturday, then on a Saturday we get to spend time with each other. But yeah, usually after Joe Dallas goes to sleep is whenever we finally get like our alone time with each other. Pretty much. Throughout the day, not really. Not much. Not at all.
I'll check in on them occasionally, like around lunchtime or mid-afternoon. How's Joe doing?
Yeah. Sometimes we get to see him, like, sometimes
I'll come home
for lunch. Yeah, sometimes he'll stop in for lunch, but that's very, very rare. All right, question is, if you could call God right now, what's one serious and one silly question that you would ask him?
You go first.
Why do I always have to go first?
I don't know. I need to think about that.
One serious question.
Alright, I'll go first.
Okay.
I would ask, Lord, what is one thing in the future that I would need to prepare myself for and how? So I'd be ready for something. Be ready for that one thing.
Okay. What's your silly question?
Most silliest question? I don't know. I feel like I would be scared to death. Like, I mean,
anybody would be scared.
Worship. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would.
Anybody would be scared if they saw Jesus.
More than I would want to talk to him. I mean, when we talk to him on the daily. Silly question. I don't know if I really have a silly question. I don't know. I have to think about that.
Okay, my serious question would probably be, which I understand, like the Bible, like bad things happen then too, but like, why does he allow good people to go through bad things? Like, I feel like some of the best Christian people are the ones that have to go through the worst things, and then you see people out there living in sin that are like lukewarm Christians, and all this good stuff happens for them. And then the ones that, you know, are really trying to walk the narrow path and do right, it's like all this bad stuff happens to them.
Well, it's also like the Bible says, it rains on the just and the unjust.
I know. And I don't understand. Like, it makes no sense to me. That'd probably be my most serious question. Like, why? But after going through infertility, I can kind of see. I feel like he takes his strongest Christians and he makes them even stronger. He gives them battles because he knows that it's going to make their faith stronger, and then they're going to use that as a testimony. So, like, in a way, it kind of makes sense, but it still doesn't make sense. My silly question would be, like Houston said, it's kind of hard to ask him a silly question, but I guess if I could, he must enjoy playing matchmaker. He plays matchmaker because he knows who we're gonna marry.
Oh, yeah.
So how does he determine how he plays matchmaker?
Well, yeah.
Like, I'm gonna make this little boy with these parents, and I'm gonna make this little girl with these parents, and then they're gonna meet each other and they're gonna get married, and then I'm gonna give them this child who's gonna then return meet this person with this family, and then like joins all the families together. Because when you marry somebody, you know, your family gets bigger and bigger and joins together. Like, how does he navigate that? It's a funny question.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't know. I don't really have a funny question.
That's my funny question.
I don't really know. I don't really have a funny question.
That's mine.
Maybe ask me if I could change one thing about my wife or something. I don't know what that would be. Yes, make her a morning person.
Make me what?
Morning person.
So here's the funny thing. I am a morning person once I get woke up. Because at nighttime I just want to
Well,
go
that
to bed.
only takes an hour.
Okay, but at least I still am. I like to be very productive in the mornings. Once I get woken up. Alright, the last YouTube question. This sun, y'all, is like horrible. There's like nothing I can do about it. Maybe that helps a little bit. You would think with this time change, the sun would be a little bit better, but it's not. Alright, how do you get time to devote your time for your personal Bible reading? And also, how do you connect yourself with the Lord Jesus Christ in your daily routines? She went on to say that she is a mother of 2 kids. Her oldest is 2 and her younger is 10 months. And she understands what it's like to be a homemaker and taking care of her kids and her husband. But she wants to know how you take Jesus into your work with you. So, personally,
I would think you would have to find out what that sweet spot for devoting that time would be.
So yeah, like
every child is different on routine.
So rather that be early in the morning before your kids wake up, that's when you read your Bible and do like your study. Or if it's late at night after everybody's in bed, you're just gonna have to sacrifice, you know, maybe not going to bed as early and finding that time. Or maybe it's during nap time, or maybe you just, while your kids are playing, I mean, they don't have to be asleep for you to find quiet time with the Lord. They can be playing and you can still read your Bible and find time. Because I know I do it. Yeah, I don't have a set time. I just do it whenever I feel like, okay, this is a good time, let me do this right now. I used to always do it in the mornings before I had a baby. The morning time was just, I would have my coffee and I would read my Bible. But now, it's just, you know, I play it by ear. Every day's different. And as a mama, that's just what happens. Every day is completely different. You cannot, you know, plan. You can try to plan and you can kind of plan a little bit, but you just never know what's going to happen as a parent, like in your day-to-day as a stay-at-home mama with taking care of your children and your husband. As far as talking to God and how I personally do that, when I'm cleaning, when I am really a lot of the times when I'm washing dishes. There's something about washing dishes and I just talk to God when I wash dishes. Like that's like just one of the most obvious times like that comes to my head, like when I'm washing dishes and we have windows above our sink, and I think there's something about just looking outside into nature and like obviously like this big world that the Lord created, and like just washing dishes and talking to God. Like I always seem to find myself talking to God when I'm washing dishes. Also, whenever we do have to run out to like get groceries or something, like driving, I will talk to him while I'm driving. So, and I think Houston does that a lot. Whenever because he drives a lot from one job site to another job site, so he talks to God a lot just driving. So I mean, you can always talk to the Lord. I think you should have that, like, you know, more sincere prayer with him, you know, try to once a day, you know, where you do close your eyes and you pray, fervently pray to the Lord. But just day to day, and like as you're working in your home, or even as you're out working in the field, you know, finding ways to still talk to God like all day long. So that way you're always trying to stay close to the Lord, because, you know, we're not perfect. There's days that you can go that'll slip you by and you realized, well, I haven't talked to the Lord today like I should have, or I haven't read my Bible today, or, you know, and most of the time those days are very cranky days, because the devil knows that he can really slip in on those days and he can really stir up some stuff. So as long as you're staying closer to the Lord, then, you know, you're fighting off the devil and all of that negative energy, which, you know, feeds out into your marriage, feeds out into your children. And so if you stay closer to God, our preacher likes to do the triangle where the husband is in one corner, the wife's in one corner, and as long as you're working closer to the Lord, you're going to be at the top with God. So that's my advice. Moving to the Instagram questions. What has been the biggest challenge going through IVF as a Christian. So there is negative Nancy's everywhere you go. When we went through IVF, nobody knew about it. Just being completely honest. Our preacher and his wife knew about it. There was like maybe 2 other people in our church that knew, and my parents knew. That was it. That is all the people that knew. Because I think IVF is such a controversial topic in Christianity. And I mean, I know it is. It is a very controversial topic. I'm not gonna say too much because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But what's your view?
I think is seeing the strain of your partner and not knowing what to do about it. Not really having the circle of somebody else or knowing somebody else who's been through it.
Yeah, so we didn't know anybody like close to us that had went through it other than just people you saw on social media.
It was a strain. It was a lot of like.
And I will say, the people that I saw on social media, they you know, their beliefs were different than ours. So it still wasn't very I mean, it was helpful, but it wasn't as helpful as somebody with like the same exact background as us. So I think that my personal view is that God has allowed, there was infertility in the Bible. So he already set that up for the future, for today's time. For women that experience infertility, I found so much encouragement reading scripture and talking to God through it, because there's so many stories and so much scripture about infertility in the Bible. And so my view was, if the Lord was gonna allow it then, and he's allowed, you know, people to, like these scientists to do what they do with IVF, to take an egg and take the sperm and create this embryo for couples who can't naturally conceive. If he, you know, then how could it be wrong? Like, there was just nothing that made me feel like I was doing wrong, or that we were doing wrong by doing what we did, because the Lord speaks very strongly of children being inherited into the Lord, and children being a reward of the womb. And you know, they absolutely are. They are precious miracles. They are precious gifts. So why would I be against that if that's the path that the Lord chose for us to go down? And I feel like he chose us to do that. I don't know why, but I do know that I can use it as a testimony, and I have complete peace about what we went through. And Joe Dallas is waking up from his nap. He said, "That's right, Mama." He said, "I'm God's little miracle." Is that all you have to say about IVF and Christianity? Yeah. Alright, the next question is, who said I love you first? And it was Houston.
Yeah, it was, but
I have no idea where. I don't know when. So Houston said I love you first. And when we were dating, I had a car accident. I had a Mustang, and I wrecked my...
the best way to drive it was upside down.
Yep, I wrecked my car, ended up in the hospital. I ended up with a boot, crutches, I couldn't see, my eyeball was messed up. Oh yeah, it was rough. It was not a good time. I ended up out of work for like a month because I couldn't walk. Anywho, so that's when Houston told me he loved me. That was July the 1st of 2019. when I wrecked my car, and I will never forget that. Ever.
And I proposed not long after that.
He said he couldn't live without me, and it just made him know that even more. Y'all, when I was on my crutches, he came to my mama's house and I made him cookies. And I regretted it, and I'll never let him live that down either, because my foot, my leg was so swollen, and it hurt so bad after standing in the kitchen making these cookies.
That was like after a week.
I
like a week later.
regretted it so much, and I was like, I'm in so much pain. I can't believe I just stood in here and made you these cookies. And you were like, I was just joking about it. I was like, but you said you wanted them, so never let him live that down. Okay, he said I love you first, so there you go. When we were, we had only been dating, see, we met each other in March. He made it official the day before his birthday, April the 6th, which is funny because April the 7th is his birthday, and we got married on April the 4th. Lots of April things. And July is when he told me he loved me. There you go. Alright, somebody asked about our first date, which I know I kind of already talked a little bit. Our first date was at Cracker Barrel. It's about a little over 10 minutes from my parents' house. So on the way over there, Houston laid the law. Our first day meeting each other. He laid the law of how it was going to be, how things were going to go, and pretty much that was it.
Well, she wanted the same thing.
I guess that's how, I guess that's why it worked. I mean, we were very upfront with each other that we didn't just date to date. That was one thing. I didn't date people to date people. I dated with intentions of marriage. And Houston made that very clear that that's what he was doing as well.
Well, I was getting too old not to, so.
And I just remember something. He also almost did not go on this date with me because I was 19 years old.
No, I was at least going to try the date out.
But he didn't know if he was going to date me. Okay, so yeah, I think you said later, you were like, I was gonna meet you and go out with you, but I didn't know if I was gonna continue trying to pursue you because you were 19.
Well, most people your age has not got their life together, so.
And so, yeah.
So that worried me even the more so
because I was 19.
I was almost 4.5 years old.
You are 4.5 years old. So he is, I think one of the other questions, this leads us into the other question. They asked how old we are. So I'm 24, Houston is 28. His birthday is April the 7th. Mine is October the 7th. So we are exactly to the date 4 years and 6 months.
Now that you know our birthdays, we accept birthday cards.
Apart. So yeah, so whenever we met, I was 19 and he was 23. 3 weeks later, he turned 24. And then 6 months later, I turned 20. And that's when he got to propose to me. So there you go, we are, yeah.
But I was a little worried because most younger people didn't have their life together. So, not saying I did by no means, but.
So,
I was a little more grown up after my accident, so.
We grew up together. We're still growing up together. Which I think that makes it harder because I got married so young. So I'm like, we got married when I was 20. So I'm like, I literally, you know, if the Lord don't come back or something tragic happens, like I will have been with Houston longer. Will have lived with Houston. He's the only thing I will have known for a very, 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 very long time in my life. And it makes me sad to think about that. As in terms of, I hope I die first.
Don't say that.
Because he's all I know. And it makes me sad.
Poor thing.
Poor thing.
Yeah, he's poor thing.
about each other?
Our biggest pet peeve.
And what would we change about each other?
You procrastinator, you.
I am very. I am
How dare you
such.
procrastinate on anything.
I am such a procrastinator, y'all. And here is the funny thing about it. I was a A+ honor roll, honor society student, and I procrastinated all through school because I work better under pressure and with a good challenge. And even when I was in college, I did the same thing. If I had a paper to write, if I had a project to do, I would wait until the last minute possible to do that, because it's like I did it better. And I was, like I said, a straight A student, honor society, everything.
I've got to have everything like planned out. I got to have everything kind of planned out, ready to go, mapped out. Let's do it. And over here, well, I haven't done that yet. Well, you didn't give me a deadline. I mean, do what?
I just work better that way.
My biggest pet peeve about Lakin is
I am, and that's really funny because to be as organized as I am, and as like OCD about keeping everything so clean and in order, I am a huge procrastinator. I really am. There is no denying that. My biggest pet peeve about Houston is probably the fact that he can't just accept.
No, I will never accept the fact
that I'm a procrastinator. I do have my life together.
You do not get it together on time, anytime. We've got to be here at this certain time.
But I'm always on time.
You haven't done that yet?
But I'm always on time.
You've got to be ready in 30 minutes.
If I'm late, it's fashionably late.
Oh.
But I'm rarely late.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing,
Well, she can have all day to get ready. And get ready 20 minutes and then complain all the way. I didn't have time to do this. Just look at my hair. It's not even fixed right. Like, you had all day to do it. You waited until 30 minutes till I got home to do it. Like, if y'all can't tell, that's my biggest pet peeve.
Yep.
It's devastating. It's like she'll be running around the house. I like to leave early. I like to be everywhere on time. I like to be at least 10, 15 minutes early. 20 minutes would be great.
No, that's too early.
Afraid she's going to have to do 3 things. Well, actually one that I can think of.
What?
Communicate when she gets there. She don't like to communicate. No.
Oh, actually, this is so funny.
She likes to walk in and just be there. She don't want to show up, have to communicate with anybody.
I was actually talking to somebody about this a few weekends ago. They watch my channel, and their husband works with Houston, and so anywho, we were talking about how I am not a outgoing person in person. I am very reserved. I am very quiet. I am very shy, and I think people think because I do YouTube that I am extroverted, and I am very introverted, and I have been introverted my whole entire life. I am very, very shy. I will not be the first person to talk to you. I will smile. When I come in a room, I will smile and I will say hey, and then I will sit down and not talk unless talking to. And I have been like that my entire life. I'm very polite, but I'm not as outgoing, I guess, as people would expect me to be. I'm very introverted, and
so that's why she's fashionably late. She don't want to talk to
because I'm introverted.
That was the word I was looking for. Associated.
I'm introverted. I can't help it. That's just who I am. I really am.
Me, I'm a people's person.
And Houston's very extroverted.
People. If I'm not around people, I feel like I am.
I am the most comfortable talking to a camera, but I think it's because I'm so introverted. Like well, in you, yeah. Like, because I'm at home. You
just said you were the most comfortable talking.
Like, as in a public, I guess not, and this isn't even public. I'm talking to thousands of people, but I'm not actually sitting there face to face with you.
Maybe one day.
So, if you ever see me out in public, please say hey, because there has been people that have seen me out in public and that watch my YouTube channel, and some of them have said hey, and some of them will say hey to my family that is with me and not to me in person, because I guess they're introverted too. But I promise, if you do see me out in public, I will talk to you. It'd probably make my day if you would say hey to me. It's happened before, and you can ask Houston.
Oh yeah.
Whenever it has happened, I'm always like, Houston, you're never gonna believe this. I met one of my subscribers and they were so sweet. Like, definitely do it. It will make my day, even though I'm introverted. It will make my day. All right, we're almost done. We stopped at a service station, y'all. There's 2 more questions. Next question is one word that describes each other. You know, one word that comes to mind that makes me think of myself. It's not you. It's sassy. I'm very sassy to Houston.
Is it one word that describes each other, or?
Yeah.
Oh, you? Say passionate.
You think I'm passionate?
Well, I mean, you're passionate about kids, passionate about their marriage. I mean,
You saying I'm a good mama.
well, yeah. You're passionate about it. You're passionate about the life you live, the homemaking, the YouTube, the subscribers.
Oh, you know what? This reminds me of something. I asked him something the other day. I said, it was like a question thing. It was on Facebook and everybody was reposting it. It was something, it was like, what is the one thing that reminds you of me? And he said, it took him a while. And then the next, because I asked it to him like at nighttime before we were going to bed. He was like, I don't know. And then the next morning, what did you tell me? He said the seasons.
Oh,
He said that the seasons reminded him of me because he knew that with every season our house was gonna be different.
Yeah, I did.
Because I changed our house in decor, which, what's our most favorite?
Christmas.
I love Christmas. I love Christmas so much that even we was at his family's the other night and his uncle was like, girl, I know you love Christmas. He was like, I gotta come see all them Christmas trees.
We got 5 in the house now.
And I was like, yes, he knows. Everybody knows. Like, even his family knows it is my most favorite. I love it. I love buying gifts for people. I've been trying to figure out like all these Christmas presents and stuff. And I love just like giving these gifts to people and seeing their reactions and like, I love it. I love Christmas. It's such a good time. I feel like the world's just a little happier during Christmas, like celebrating the Lord's birth, and I just love it. One word for you. You said mine's passionate.
Oh, it's not that hard. What? You're thinking. It's like the wheels are turning. Oh, you have to. What?
I have to
You
think.
can't even think. I thought you'd have something like right off the hip.
No.
Found something you can't even answer.
No.
One word, just one word.
Well, you're very hardworking. That's like the biggest thing. But you are. I mean, you're passionate too, but in different ways. And you are. I mean, you're kind of romantic, but not really.
In my own way.
In your own way. I guess he's romantic enough that he won my heart, so he's sneaky. He's very sneaky. indescribable. There's nobody like Houston Joe.
You got that right. I'll go ahead and tell you that. If there was two of me, we'd be in trouble.
Well, there is now, Houston, so we're in trouble. Now we got Joe Dallas.
He's not like me.
Okay.
He just looks like me.
No, he acts just like you too. He's got his daddy's temper already, y'all.
Oh no.
He's got his daddy's temper already. Why is it so hard for me to find just one word? I'm very thankful that you found one word about me, but there's lots of words about you.
Lots of words. Okay.
Sassy, feisty, exotic. He is passionate in different ways. Very hardworking. He's very passionate about his work. He's very passionate about our marriage. He's very passionate about his wife.
Yes, I
The sun is killing me.
am. I think he's killing me too. It's getting ready to get worse.
Alright, the last question. I should have picked a better one to be the last one, but it's okay. Any advice for newly married couples?
Any advice for newly married couples?
You're not going to be perfect. Don't try to make it perfect, because let me tell you something. When we first got married, hang on.
I think you should give each other a lot of grace and mercy.
Any advice? Okay, so any advice for newly married couples? Okay, yes, definitely lots of grace, lots of mercy. It is not going to be perfect. If you have not argued dating or being engaged, you're going to argue while married, and you got to figure out how you're going to
really argue while we were dating.
You got to figure out
She was scared I would just up and leave her while we were dating.
Our first big argument happened like a week before our wedding. Because we was remodeling our house, and anytime you remodel a house, you best expect some arguments. Okay? And yeah, it was a week before we got married.
Yep.
Sure was.
She cried.
I did cry. I did cry.
She was stressed out. Do not turn that off.
I ain't tearing. Oh.
You're literally tearing that out of the car. Do not pull down on that.
Oops.
It only goes down so much.
I'm trying to get it out of my face. I did cry though. I am very tender-hearted as well. But I'm not as tender-hearted as I used to be. These husbands will toughen your heart.
I can say the same, y'all. These wives will harden your heart. What is this? Throw a dart, hope it don't stick. Ouch. You're terrible, but I love you.
No, I did not say you're terrible.
No,
I am very good at being submissive, and you know that.
She tries.
I am.
She tries.
I am.
You try.
I am.
The problem we have is
Marriage counseling.
I am very determined to know what I want, and I'm going to do it. I have very few patience, and she's very determined and knows what she wants. And we have to compromise a lot on which way we're going to do it. So
Yeah, we are.
She could have a totally different view on what we're going to do, and I could have a totally different view on how it's going to be.
Okay, but also here's the thing too. We are definitely very opposite people. He is very much a go-getter, and I think I am in some aspects. Yes, very determined, know what I want. He's very determined, he knows what he wants. But he is definitely more of a jump on it, and I'm more of a, hey, hold up a minute, let's think about this. He's more of a, hey, I got this idea and we're gonna do it. And I'm more of, you got this idea and we're gonna let it sit for a few days. So that's where we butt heads, because he's I mean, about buying stuff, y'all. He'll be like, I found a piece of land and I'm buying it. And I'll be like, dude, no we're not. We're gonna wait a few days. Or I found this and I'm getting it, or I'm gonna do this. And I'm like,
I generally, now we talk about it, but I go ahead and do it.
but he goes ahead and does it. Okay, and
We talk about it though.
like, even when he started the business, y'all, that was probably the most that he's ever waited to jump the gun. It was, I'm gonna start this business. I think actually I was the one.
Well, I held up. It's nerve-wracking. It was a lot. It's a lot of money to get started.
A lot.
It's a lot of money to start up a business, and
it took a week of prayer of
because you don't never know if it's going to work. I mean, it doesn't
should
really
we go do this or not. I mean, it did take a whole week. I will say that is the longest thing. That was the biggest, longest thing. But everything else, I mean,
like, tore that up. I'm gonna get that fixed. I can't believe you did that.
I'm gonna have to end this video when we get there because my battery's dying.
Oh, the light's green. Alright, so back to, wow, that got sideways. That rabbit, we run that rabbit completely till the beagles caught it. A lot of mercy and grace. And there needs to be a lot of compromise.
There is a lot of compromise in marriage.
There is, but there probably more so because you're still getting to know each other.
Like, just because you're married does not mean you know each other. You don't know each other until you live with each other. And we were very, I guess, old-fashioned now, because I guess it's normal to live with people before you marry them. In today's society, I did not live with him before we got married. We started living with each other the night we got married. And so we did not know what it was like to live with each other until we got married. And honestly, I would recommend that, because it makes it more fun, it makes it more challenging, and I think you need to have those challenges to strengthen your marriage. I really do. It's a learning experience, and I think that you need to go through that to be stronger in your relationship and in your marriage. So, but I mean, obviously if you didn't, you're still going to have to figure it out. Things change. Bank accounts become one.
When? It only took her a little while, but it worked out.
I was afraid he was going to take that, but I'm just kidding.
Afraid I was going to take your
My money.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I haven't taken it yet.
Because I did work, y'all, before, you know, when we first got married. I ain't always stay at home.
I watched her 99 Toyota taillights peel across the crescent moonlight. My heart broke when she broke the county line. She fought back tears when she was packing. Told me one day she'd be back when she caught all the stars in her eyes. And I knew I had to let her leave, 'cause I believe that hometowns are made for coming home. And if you love somebody, let them go. Well, I know that day will come. She'll be coming down that road, 'cause hometowns are made for coming home. I hope she makes it to New England when the autumn leaves are changing, and she talks to God on a Colorado peak. hope she'll come back and tell me everything. 'Cause hometowns are made for coming home. And if you love somebody, let them go. And I know that they will come. She'll come back down that road. 'Cause hometowns are made for coming home. And I hope that every one of her wildest dreams comes true. And I hope that she'll come back here when they do. 'Cause hometowns are made for coming home. And if you love somebody, let them go. And I know that they will come. She'll come back down that road. 'Cause hometowns are made for coming home. And I know that they will come. She'll come back down that road. 'Cause hometowns are made for coming home. For coming home.
Looking for a reason, driven by the heart, fighting for a season, when sadness fall apart. Tell me not to worry, tell me to be strong.